up, family? Hello. Thursday. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. Good to be here. Oh, what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about doing the hard stuff. In the course of life, things are gonna come up that are hard, especially in training and in diet. It's not always fun to eat the same things day in, day out. And I do try to throw a little variety in there. And most of the time, I just kind of look at food as fuel. Every meal is carbs, protein, and fat. That's all I see when I look at food. So I would encourage you, if you are interested in focusing your nutrition and changing it up to be a bit more goal specific, do some research on what foods are included, what is a fat, what is a protein, what is a carbohydrate, and what foods are in those groups. Because when you do that, food becomes a lot less about fun, I guess. I hate to say it that way because it's not that eating right is not fun, but it just becomes, I think there was a video that this bikini pro posted, and she talked about eating for purpose. And that, a long time ago when I started really honing in on my diet, and that's what happened as I began looking at food with a purpose, that I'm eating it because not only am I hungry, but also it's going to help me with my goals. It's goal specific. It's eating with a purpose. It's not just, oh, I'm going to eat this hamburger just because it tastes good. Because yes, you should have your food taste good, but oftentimes I think we get too focused on that. And if we're really trying to lose weight or build muscle or get fit or run faster or pick, whatever it is your goal is, if we get too focused on, well, I don't want to eat that because it doesn't taste good, or, oh, that's so boring, or, oh, it's so healthy, or whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. We get so caught up in food being anything more than purpose, and that is what food is designed to do. Your body has a mechanism inside of it that when its energy is running low, it's going to send the signal to the brain, and all these chemicals are going to get into process, and you're going to start feeling hungry. You're going to get a little bit of hungry, a little bit of tinge, then your stomach's going to start growling. You're going to start feeling all sorts of ways, and maybe you're going to get hangry. I don't know. That's when you get hungry and angry. But that is because your body needs that energy, and we get that energy from food. Food is meant to give us nutrition and fuel, and when we begin to look at it more in terms of that, looking at it like that, and less about eating because it just tastes good. I think we've all been there where we are done with the meal. It's time to push away from the table, but it's so good we can't stop. When we start to eat less like that and more from a standpoint of, this is fuel for my body, this is, that is when the magic starts to happen, because you become less captive to the food. You're not so over controlled by that food that's in front of you. And I'm telling you, food is so important in your diet. If you want your body to change, you cannot be training in the gym and then not eat right, because you're not going to see the results that you want. And then you're going to get frustrated and you're going to blame the exercise program. Well, it's not working. No, the diet is what's not working. And you can't just not eat. That's dumb. Please eat something. Eat some vegetables, eat some fruits, eat some lean meats. Y'all know the spiel. What's interesting too is we had the funeral on Tuesday, and I made a little mental note while we were at the church who was kind enough to prepare food for the family. And I typically don't eat at things like that. It's not to offend anybody. I really sincerely appreciated that the church had done that for the family. But I know the foods that I can eat. I know what's on my plan. I know how I feel if I don't eat according to my plan. And also, I work way too hard getting my butt up out of the bed at 4 a.m. Monday through Saturday to be in the gym and train, to wreck it with some macaroni and cheese. Like, that's dumb. That's the dumbest. But anyway, I used to be a sugar fiend and a dessert-aholic, and they had a spread of desserts. And I sat there and I, just kind of was sitting there and taking everything in. And it occurred to me that I wasn't bothered by the food. Used to, and this also tells how much healthier my relationship with food is now. But I sat there and I just kind of observed, looking at the plate, that, old Kelly would have sat there and there would have been this internal dialogue, this fight that I would have with myself of, don't eat the food, don't eat the food. Oh, you want the food. Eat the food, eat the food. No, don't eat the food, don't eat the food. It's bad, it's bad. Oh, it's going to make you fat. It's going to, do you know how much work you're going to have to do to burn off that cookie? Like, that is the dialogue that used to take place in my head. And now it's less about that and more about that's not on my plan, because the stuff that's on my plan is specific to my goals. There was no discussion, and I wasn't even bothered by it. It's just pretty cool, because that's taken time. That has taken time to get to this point. But I'm telling you, it is possible. I can be trusted. What I'm saying is, I can be trusted in a room with a box of Krispy Kreme donuts, and I won't be bothered by it. And that is the long-term application of discipline. Consistent application of discipline. I can't speak today, man. I'm having a hard time. But it's the consistent application of discipline over time that has allowed me to arrive where I am today. Is it like that all the time? No, I still struggle sometimes. But for the most part, I have arrived at a point where I can do that, and it's just pretty cool. It's just pretty cool, because all that hard work, sometimes we're so focused on the physical results that we see from our training that we don't necessarily look to see at the things that have happened over time that are also successes. That's a huge success. For me to feel more empowered, and more in control over the food than the food has control over me. And the only way that can happen is through consistent application of discipline, and also arriving at that conclusion in your mind where you begin to look at food less about, oh, it tastes good, and more about it serving a purpose, which is to fuel my workouts and fuel my training and help me get closer to my goals. That's it. That's the magic. That's the work you got to do. So when you're doing all this stuff, it's not ever just because you're trying to lose weight or build muscle. It is about more than that. It's about framing and developing a healthy lifestyle. When you do that, that's the goal. All right, people, y'all have a great day. Mwah! Peace out. I love ya.